Hello, in this lesson you're going to learn English with a news article. We're going to read the article together and then you're going to learn grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation at the same time. We may also learn some phrasal verbs and some expressions along the way. I'm Michael and this is English with Mr. Michael.
Okay, so here we have an article. This is about Iran. So this is about the US and Iran war. Now this article relates to the fighter jet airman that was shot down and his rescue. So let's have a look at the title. So we've got US rescues second second F-15E fighter jet airman shot down over Iran. So rescue, you could say rescue is to save. So if someone is in a precarious position, if someone needs help and you save them. Second F-15E fighter jet. So that means there were two fighter jet. Now, if I remember, one of them got to safety straight away, and the second one they couldn't find. Shot down. Now this relates to they're flying in the air and they get hit by a rocket, maybe. Have to be a rocket, really, wouldn't it? And it damaged the plane. Now, normally, when a plane gets damaged, the pilots eject. Which means to leave very quickly. So they pull a lever, the roof comes off the plane, and they go in the air, and there's a parachute attached to their chair. So let's have a look. Trump warns Tehran you'll be living in hell unless the Strait of Hormuz is opened by Tuesday. So living in hell, obviously that speaks for itself. You could say unpleasant living conditions. So what he's doing is he's threatening Iran. He's threatening to blow up Iran. So what's he using? He's using rockets. He's using missiles, bombs. He's basically threatening to attack Iran. So as you know, the Strait of Hormuz, that's a river. But it's more than a river, actually. It's a sea, isn't it? So here you have, if this is so if this is Iran, this is Saudi Arabia, and this is the UAE. You may know UAE as Dubai, for instance. So this sea here is the Strait of Hormuz. And as you know, these countries, the countries up here, you have oil. So this is Iraq. So ships take the oil through here, But what Iran is doing, they're blowing up ships. So if a ship is here, blowing it up, and what this is doing is this is affecting the oil price. So oil was, let's say, it's $100 per barrel, and now Sunday the 5th of April, oil is $150 per barrel. So the oil price is going up. Now, as you know, oil is used in everything: transportation, heating, gasoline, petrol, diesel. So you can basically transportation. It's made in making products, so everything becomes more expensive. And 20% of oil is from the Middle East. So it's very important. The US military has rescued the airman. So they found him. So rescued, found, saved the airman. Now another synonym could be pilot. So a synonym could be pilot of an F-15E fighter jet that was shot down over Iran, ending a complex here. Can you think of a synonym for complex? Maybe complicated? And high risk mission. High risk, high probability. Of risk, high probability of it not working. High risk mission inside the Islamic Republic. So that's inside the country. So we have US President Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social platform. Now, you know that Donald Trump has his own social media company. Just like, it pretty much looks like Twitter or X, but it's called Truth Social. Now, as you know, this was created when he was thrown off Twitter, when it was called Twitter, because of the politics at the time. They didn't agree with his politics, but now he's in power and his X platform's been reinstated. He can use that, but he still use his platform. Early on Sunday, we got him. So we found him, basically. He added that the rescued airman had injuries but was safe and sound. So he had injuries, which means he got hurt, but safe and sound, which means he will live, he will survive. Right. The two F-15E crew members, a pilot and a weapons system officer, ejected, there's that word again, after the aircraft was shot down over Iran on Friday. Shot down. So that's just another way, it's an expression of saying hit by something. Now that something could be a missile, a rocket, etc. The US military launched a dangerous combat search and rescue mission. Launched, started, initiated. The US military launched. Now, this is also past tense because it's ED, so it's talking about something in the past. Dangerous, not safe. Combat, so that's fighting. Search means to look for. And rescue means to save. So fighting, look for, save, mission. So a mission is, you could say project, but it's stronger. A mission is something that you want an end result. In a project you do, but a mission is something that relates to something more physical. In this sense, the mission is to save. Now, in business, you could have a mission statement, and this will tell you where the business is going, what you want the business to achieve. So, for instance, SpaceX, their mission statement would probably be something like to conquer Mars, to build. Here at SpaceX, we want to visit, colonize Mars. So everything they do is positioned towards reaching Mars and terraforming Mars, if you like, creating a living environment for people on Mars. I don't know if that is their mission statement, but it could be. It seems to talk about Mars a lot. Which involved aircraft flying low over southwestern Iran. That resulted in the recovery of the pilot on Friday. Recovery means found. Recovery also means to get better if you're sick, but that's a different meaning. In English, we have the same word, same pronunciation, same spelling, but different meaning, and you have to look at the context to understand which version it is. So this is why just translating words doesn't work. You have to look at it in context. I mean, translation software like Google Translate, I don't recommend using anyway, because English doesn't translate well into other languages. And from my experience, it just creates confusion. So, try not to use that too much. Right, let's have a look. So we have the missing weapons system officer. Now, officer just means the person involved, who Trump said had the rank of colonel. So he's very high up officer in the military. Spent more than 24 hours inside Iran. So he was hiding. He was surviving. Now, and people were looking for him. Trump said the 2nd Airman was behind enemy lines in the treacherous mountains of Iran. Treacherous could mean dangerous. Dangerous mountains of Iran, being hunted down. Hunted means people are looking for. Hunted down by our enemies. Now these are Iranian soldiers. Who were getting closer and closer by the hour. So they were getting closer to his destination, his location. This is just plain destruction after it was shot down. Right. The operation involved dozens of aircraft. Trump said, so dozens, so a dozen, so 1 dozen is 12. But in a baker's dozen, and a baker's dozen equals 13. But what this is saying, dozens of aircraft, just translates to lots of. It's not a specific number. It's a dozen is 12, but people just say, oh, dozens and dozens. This means lots of. Trump said with the US military tracking is looking for. So tracking sat nav in your car, Google Maps is tracking the location. So the location is position of the missing airman 24 hours a day. So they were looking for him every hour of the day and night. US Special Forces extracted the aviator, according to a person familiar with US operations. So US Special Forces are elite soldiers. You've got Rangers, you've got the Green Berets, and there are quite a few different outfits in the UK. We've got the SAS or the SBS. Okay, extracted, removed. The aviator. Aviator just means pilot, according to a person familiar with US operations. The operation was helped by air cover that included warplanes and MQ-9 Reaper drones to keep Iranian forces away from the airmen. The person said the US military also blew up 2 of its own aircraft in Iran during the rescue operation. The person added, so blew up, so destroyed, so destroyed. Okay. Those are unbelievably high trained forces, the person said of the special operators. It cannot be overstated. So overstate means to say too much. So what they're saying is you cannot say too much, they're that good, or it's a problem. So it cannot be overstated how dangerous this operation was. So this operation was very, very, very dangerous, and you can't talk about it too much. That's how dangerous it was. So they are exaggerating, but they just want to hit home how much of a problem it was. A senior US official said the CIA had launched is started, maybe. Now, what can you launch? You can launch a rocket. So a senior US official said the CIA had launched a deception campaign inside Iran to facilitate the rescue. Deception, so that means lie to, mislead. So mislead. So they were saying things to confuse the enemy. Spread the word inside Iran. Spread the word means to talk about. Inside Iran, that US forces had already found the airman and were transporting him to a point from where he could be exfiltrated. Exfiltrated means to take out. Now, you've probably heard of the antonym for this, infiltrated, which means to put in. They did not specify how the message had been spread. So basically, they said that the guy had been found, so that stopped people looking for him, but he hadn't, and they found him. While Iranians were confused and uncertain of what was happening, the agency used its unique, exquisite capabilities to search for and find the American. So while the Iranians were confused means they don't understand. Uncertain, so it's uncertain means not 100% of what was happening. The agency, so the agency is the CIA, which stands for Central Intelligence Agency. So CIA stands for Central Intelligence Agency. Unique, exquisite. What does that mean? Have a look and give me an example sentence and put it in the comments. So write a sentence with unique and exquisite and put it in the comments. Capabilities, this means what you can do. To search for and find the American. The official said this was the ultimate needle in a haystack. There's an expression. So, needle in a haystack. This basically means hard to find. Very hard to find. If you think about a haystack, back in the day, they still do make them like this. So they grow hay, and they chop it down, and then they put it into bundles, giant bundles like this. See if that's me. This would be a haystack. And a needle, as you know, a needle is used to stitch clothes, thread and needle. So trying to find a needle in one of these, it's very difficult. So that's what it means, hard to find. Invisible, can't see. But for CIA capabilities, right. The official added that Trump had ordered the rescue mission immediately. So ordered, so he's in charge. Ordered instructions. Rescue to find immediately, right now. After the CIA shared the location of the airman with the White House. The US military conducted the operation with the CIA continuing to provide real-time information. So real-time just means current information that's happening right now. In this post, on social media, Trump also referred to a rescue. Sorry. In this post on social media, Trump also referred to a second rescue mission that took place on Saturday to recover another pilot. Right, so it happened previously. Must be the plane. Okay. The US A-10 attack aircraft designed to provide air support to ground troops, to give, or to help support ground troops. Ground troops are soldiers. So ground troops are like the army. You've got the Marines, for instance. Of the helicopters involved was fired on during the operation. Okay, so fired on, so they were attacked. In announcing the successful rescue, announcing is to say formally. So as you know, when you announce something, it could be on TV, there's a special announcement on TV. Everyone tunes in and listens to this announcement. In England, the King might have an announcement, and everybody listens. Or if the Prime Minister says, or the Prime Minister has an important announcement, everyone will listen. So in announcing the successful rescue, Trump insisted that the US maintained air superiority. So air superiority means the best at in the air, in the sky, over the Islamic Republic. So what he's saying is, he's saying that the USA controls the sky over Iran. The fact that we were able to pull off both of these operations, pull off means finish with success without a single American killed or even wounded, just proves once again that we have achieved overwhelming air dominance. Overwhelming means very strong. Air dominance and superiority over the Iranian skies. Iran's Central Military Command claimed that 2 US Black Hawk helicopters. Now these are just a brand of helicopter. US is United States. Black Hawk is the type of helicopter. So you can have lots of different helicopters, just like cars. You might drive a Toyota, you might drive a Fiesta, you might drive a Mustang. Those are different types of cars. Black Hawk is just the type of helicopter. And the C-130 Hercules transport aircraft. This is just another type of aircraft. Now, aircraft can be helicopter. It can be a plane. It can be a drone, etc. So things that fly in the sky were downed were downed means shot down in the rescue operation. State media showed an apparent video of the destroyed planes. Apparent video. What they're saying here is it's not verified, because some things are not verified, meaning they could be fake. I mean, you can fake videos these days. So state media showed an apparent video of the destroyed planes, which it said had been hit in the southern Isfahan. So there was a video. They don't know if it's real or not, but they were looking into it. Search and rescue operations over hostile territory. Hostile means dangerous. Territory just means the ground. So a country is a territory, an area of land, basically. Or extremely dangerous, exposing rescue personnel. Exposing, so it's easy to see. Personnel, these are people who work in the military. At lower altitudes and ground level to potential enemy attacks. Altitude is, it relates to, so if this is the ground and if this is the sky, altitude, it's a different level in the sky. So here you've got high altitude. Here you've got low altitude and ground level. So this is ground level. So this is where you'll find people. There's me at ground level. There. To potential enemy attack. So all of this, enemy can easily see little Michael shoot him. So this is why they were concerned. Iran launched strikes late on Saturday, past tense, launched ED, on key water and power infrastructure. Infrastructure just means plants. It can mean factories, things that produce in this time water and energy. If you've got no water and no energy, you can't have a war. So this is why they attack them. They want people no water, so they suffer and possibly die. And power, if you've got no power, no oil, no gas, no electricity, you've got sticks and stones, you've got nothing. So what's this? Iran launched strikes late on Saturday on key water and power infrastructure in Kuwait. So Kuwait is a different country. The Gulf country said causing serious material damage. So serious material damaged means they damaged water plants, energy, electricity maybe. So they destroyed in Kuwait. The reason they're doing it in Kuwait is because Kuwait helps America, and that's why. So, Kuwait's ministries complex. This is basically the government, the Kuwaiti government. The headquarters of the oil and finance ministries was also hit by a drone attack. No injuries were recorded in either attack. Israel said it had bombed an Iranian petrochemical plant, so a plant that makes petrol or gasoline, which it claimed the country's armed forces used to produce materials for weapons, including ballistic missiles. So they're trying to stop the production of weapons. In a video statement, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called Marshah Special Petrochemical Zone part of Tehran's money machine. So they're trying to stop Tehran, the capital of Iran, making money, because what they're doing is they're using that money to create or buy more weapons. Following a similar strike against Iranian petrochemical facilities last month, Tehran retaliated. Now, retaliated means attack back. So if you're attacked and you retaliate, that means you attack the person for attacking you by striking energy infrastructure in the Gulf. Energy infrastructure, now this can be oil, gas, electricity. Can you think of any other energy source? If you can think of any other energy sources, leave it in the comment. Let me know. Inflicting severe damage. Inflicting means to cause damage. So if I say I'm inflicting pain on myself, I could stab myself in the arm to inflict pain. I know that sounds silly, but that's what it means. So inflicting severe damage on the world's largest liquefied natural gas facility in Qatar. Now, what do we use gas for? See if you can think about it. What do we use gas for? Why is that not typing? Why is it not typing? What do we use gas for? Leave it in the comments. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to read this. So just read along with me and make a note of the pronunciation. So this is a pronunciation part. Okay, here we go. US rescue second F-15E fighter jet airman shot down over Iran. Trump warns Tehran you'll be living in hell unless the Strait of Hormuz is opened by Tuesday. The US military has rescued the airman of an F-15E fighter jet that was shot down over Iran, ending a complex and high-risk mission inside the Islamic Republic. US President Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social platform, "Early on Sunday, we got him." He added that the rescued airman had injuries but was safe and sound. The two F-15E crew members, a pilot and a weapons system officer, ejected after the aircraft was shot down over Iran on Friday. The US military launched a dangerous combat search and rescue mission which involved aircraft flying low over western Iran that resulted in the recovery of the pilot on Friday. The missing weapons system officer, who Trump said had the rank of colonel, spent more than 24 hours inside Iran. Trump said the second airman was behind enemy lines in the treacherous mountains of Iran, being hunted down by our enemies who were getting closer and closer by the hour. The operation involved dozens of aircraft, Trump said, with the US military tracking the location of the missing airman 24 hours a day. US Special Forces extracted the aviator, according to a person familiar with US operations. The operation was supported by air cover that included warplanes and MQ-9 Reaper drones to keep Iranian forces away from the airmen, the person said. The US military also blew up 2 of its own aircraft in Iran during the rescue operation. The person added, "Those are unbelievably high-trained forces," the person said to the special operators. "It cannot be overstated how dangerous this operation was." A senior US official said the CIA had launched a deception campaign inside Iran to facilitate the rescue. The official said the intelligence agency spread the word inside Iran that US forces had already found the airman and were transporting him to a point from where he could be exfiltrated. They did not specify the message had been spread. They did not specify how the message had been spread. While the Iranians were confused and uncertain of what was happening, the agency used its unique, exquisite capabilities to search for and find the American, the official said. This was the ultimate needle in a haystack, invisible but for CIA's capabilities. The official added that Trump had ordered the rescue mission immediately after the CIA shared the location of the airman with the White House. The US military conducted the operation with the CIA continuing to provide real-time information. In his post on social media, Trump also referred to a second rescue mission that took place on Saturday to recover another pilot. A USA-10 attack aircraft designed to provide support to ground troops was shot down near the Strait of Hormuz on Friday and its pilot rescued. One of the helicopters involved was fired on during the operation. In announcing the stressful rescue, Trump insisted that the US maintained air superiority over the Islamic Republic. The fact that we were able to pull off both of these operations without a single American killed or even wounded just proves once again that we have achieved overwhelming air dominance and superiority over the Iranian skies, Trump wrote. Iran's Central Military Command claimed that 2 US Black Hawk helicopters and C-130 Hercules transport aircraft were downed in the rescue operation. State media showed an apparent video of the destroyed planes, which is said to had been hit in southern Isfahan. Search and rescue operations over hostile territory are extremely dangerous, exposing rescue personnel at lower altitudes and ground level to potential enemy attack. Iran launched strikes late on Saturday on key water and power infrastructure in Kuwait, the Gulf country said, causing serious material damage to electricity and desalination facilities. Kuwait's ministries complex, headquarters of the oil and finance ministries, was also hit by a drone attack. No injuries were recorded in either attack. Israel said it had bombed an Iranian petrochemical plant, which it claimed the country's armed forces used to produce materials for weapons including ballistic missiles. In a video statement, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the Mashahar special petrochemical zone part of Tehran's money machine. Following a similar strike against Iran petrochemical facilities last month, Tehran retaliated by striking energy infrastructure in the Gulf, inflicting severe damage on the world's largest liquefied natural gas facility in Qatar.